So this is I'm gonna assume the last one of my China trip videos, and sorry it took so long. I just really been too busy, and I haven't even posted any of the my normal videos up much. Anyway, this is the start of my little sightseeing trip in Shanghai. So this is our first stop. It's Suzhou. This is the in Chinese, it's called Xihu or West Lake, or yeah. And this is one of the most essential icons in China because a lot of the old stories, a lot of the folk tales, and a lot of the very famous people lived here. And also, this is the only producing area in China of Dragon Well tea. If anyone is a tea drinker, they will know exactly what I'm talking about. It's one of the most delightful green tea there is. I mean, maybe now there are other places that produces Dragon Well, but not the same. This is the original place that Dragon Well is produced, and tea in this city is a very long and old and complicated tradition. Anyway, so this is a couple shots. This is alongside of the river. This is actually their street lamp. I thought it was really cool because it looks like an old-fashioned bell and stuff. Um, this actually, the river is basically it's a what they call a life lake. It is a lake. It's not really a river, but the water constantly gets um, sent in from I think outside source. I can't remember what it was, but this is one of the cleanest river or cleanest lake in all of China. The water that comes here only gets used by the farmlands that grows Dragonwell tea. Um, Actually, the people that lives there don't get to use this water, and it's very clean and it's really really beautiful. So yeah, and fish in this lake are controlled by the park services. And it's just amazing. Um, this is Lei Feng Tat, so one of the iconic, I guess, folktale temple in China or whatever. And this is a couple more pictures. See, this is the area where they grow these little. I think they're carps or trouts. I think they're carps, but they're colored. They're the really pretty ones. Anyway, just a couple of pictures, and these on this lake you get at least the closed up areas, the little streams that runs off the side of the lakes. You can rent one of these boats, and there's someone that paddles for you, and it's just a very relaxing, enjoyable ride along the outer edge of the lake. More fish. This is just some of the. I guess this was the picture. Yeah, here's just some of the picture of just all over the park. It's actually okay. This area used to be occupied by some of the richest people in China, or actually the richest people in China. So this is all very, very well maintained. And even though nowadays nobody really lived there anymore, because they decided that a group of people at the time that lived there decided that it wasn't fair that they should share this piece of land um, to the rest of China. I think it's right around just a little bit after social revolution or something like that. So they donated all of these to the government. So now it's run by the government, and this is one of the most well-maintained area in probably all of China, if not, you know. This is not the real thing. This little temple or outing area was built, I think, for a movie, and it was just really pretty, so I took a picture of it. But yeah, it was. This is new. This is actually built for a movie, and anyway, and then these things, they're made out of bamboo. Most, actually, the whole entire top of the structure is made out of bamboo, and it's just one of these little walkways that's very traditional and it's just very relaxing, and especially during summertime, it's very quiet and just Chinese people is very into calmness and you know just relaxing and stuff like that. So this is just extremely comfortable places to just sit, have a cup of tea, and just enjoy the scenery. Just calm yourself down from days of work and stuff like that. So this is just really, really pretty and awesome area. Um, yeah, I found this rock. It just looked weird. Looked like a face. More of these carps. It's just they have areas where these things grow. Um, yeah, they're called Chinese something carp. They grow as big as uh, their environment allows. So they have giant ones in this lake, but of course they don't come to the surface a lot. They usually get in deeper waters, but they can grow to huge sizes. Actually, if you guys want to know more, there's a huge problem in the Chicago rivers with these fish, because yeah, so nowadays you can only go if you catch one in Chicago, you have to kill it because the government doesn't allow you to put it somewhere else and create bigger problems. So anyway, so yeah, that's that. Lots of pictures of that. There's a lot of ducks around also because they're so pretty. So there's little vendors on the side of the river selling you, or the lake, selling you fish food. So you throw in the water, and that's why they all gather around the bridge. But of course, when that happens, ducks come and try to fight or steal the food. But yeah, there's these little outing areas where you can just sit and chat and stuff all over the place, and they're actually pretty traditional. They're just usually places where people can stop, play a game of chess, have some tea, have a quiet, moment to themselves, or just chat and be out of sight and stuff like that. So that's actually pretty common, especially in richer, in the higher class households and places like this. I don't know what these are. I got a whole bunch of pictures of these birds. They look like peacock. They're really not, but yeah. Anyway, so that's the walkway to the boating area that we had to take to drive across to, I guess, go across the river. But I just thought it was really pretty. There we go. Yeah. So here's the boat that we took that we had to go. As you can see, this so-called lake is huge. You can barely see the other side of, and this is just a small portion of it. And all of the water in the lake I think it gets completely changed out naturally by the system that they have set up every month or 3 months. I can't remember. So this is like the cleanest water anywhere. And again, it's only used by the farmers that grows Dragon Ball tea, and nobody else gets to use this. So if you guys uh, ever drink Dragon Ball, you should appreciate all of these. This is literally just for you guys and me. Of course, I spend way too much money buying tea. um, but this is another picture of that Lei Feng Ta, one of the more iconic temples, and it was featured in lots and lots and lots of folktale movies and stuff like that. So this is just um, this area is actually an island in the middle of the lake where all of the noblemen used to live, and we didn't really get to go there. So that's the other side of the lake where the docking areas are. I just saw those little yellow roof things. They're actually boats. They're just fancier boats than the one we were in. And that's also that giant thing that looked like a giant building in the middle. That's also a boat. I wish I got that one, but oh well. Just some pictures that not very well taken pictures apparently, but pictures of stuff. So that's the other side. See, that's the city, and no, it's not very polluted. This is Suzhou is actually one of the least polluted cities in China. They don't even allow heavy industries anywhere near the city. So yeah, the air quality out here is amazing actually, but it's just one of these things. When it gets to the afternoon in the lake, it just gets very misty and it's actually pretty cool, but maybe not so much in the pictures. But yeah, some other pictures. So here is one of the many small restaurants around here. The big one back there. So this is the front of the restaurant. There's a that big building back there. The whole entire building back there is also another restaurant, and it's one of right here. So here's a front picture of it, and it's sorry it's blocked by a bunch of trees, but this is like one of the most expensive restaurants in the area. Period. Um, if you don't plan to spend a couple grand, don't go. Because yeah, most people that lives in the area, they'd be lucky if they can get there, like go there once a year. Because you literally like, if you're talking about like a family dinner, will cost you probably tens of thousands of dollars, not just thousands. So yeah, this is one of the bridges that's on the lake, and there's actually a very good story. I don't exactly remember the name of the people that's in the story, but basically what happened was there was a rich prince or a nobleman that came here. He fell in love with one of the local girls but she was a actress at the time, or what we call actress. And today it's a very glorious thing to be actress because you're rich and famous, but back then not so much. You're kind of the lower end of the, you know. So when he went back home, his parents didn't allow him to come back anymore because of this girl, this actress, this girl that he fell in love with. But this girl was so in love with him that she literally waited on the bridge until eventually she died, um, waiting for him to come back. So that's why I took a picture of it. Yeah, this is the one of the traditional Chinese plants that the smaller ones you can sell. Um, they're a form of the money tree. The smaller ones, of course, you can buy in little shops, and they're about you can hold in your hands. And this is just a really bigger version. This is about as big as they'll get. So yeah, there's another picture. We don't need to see that. So um, we went into the city that night. This is one of their local shopping tourist areas, and this is still traditional building and stuff. So it's just really pretty. Um, yeah, as you can see, this actually is a bridge. So yeah, don't remember what these are. This is the bridge. We stopped here for a while just because we got to walk around, and before we had I think, I don't know, half an hour before we had to go to dinner, so we stopped here and looked around. Um, so here is we went to see a show in this. This is actually an amusement park, but we went at night to see this play. There's actually a giant theater in the amusement park, and this is uh, the name of. Well, this is just right outside of the theater. The theater is actually to the right of this. More picture of that. So here we go. This is the entrance. Looks like a giant, I don't know, temple, but yeah. Here's some of the people in the show. It's actually really, really cool. Unfortunately, I couldn't get really good pictures of it, but just the stage is amazing. I mean, there's water and there's stuff, and the stage was constantly moving and changing. These are all actually students. So yeah, anyway. Oh, that's last of it. So right here, this is a different picture. So all of these little things. So that was that night, and then the next day morning, we went to the place that produced Dragon Well tea. So all of these little green, I guess, rows or just rows of tea trees or bushes, however you want to call them. I guess they're bushes because they're so little. But this whole entire hillside are full of Dragon Well tea. Like I said, I spent way too much money at this place. And as you can see, there's tour buses everywhere. Um, where I am at that place, the Queen of England actually visited twice, and she really liked it, and she constantly buys teas from this place because it's just really cool stuff. This is one of the traditional teapots. Um, that's just a decoration. It's cool. There's actually water comes out of it at some point, but it's just a cool decoration that I thought. This person is one of the founding people and one of the famous people in this area. So I don't know his name, but they made a statue of him, so I thought he was important. So this is like the knockoff of T Station. People that lives in the state a lot, especially like in LA area. This is just a knockoff of the Chinese version of the T Station. As you can see, the symbolism looks very similar, but the teapot is cool. It actually looked like it's free floating in the air, but yeah, where the water comes out, there's a beam that goes all the way up. But it just looks cool. It looks like it's free flowing. The design of some of these places, this is actually just a pit stop on the side of the highway, and you can see the red roof there. That's actually the gas station. Um, we stopped for a rest, and I think the next, so we're going to Nanjing. So this is on the way to Nanjing, and something horrible is going to happen after this. So yeah, we'll see. So this is actually, hmm, hold on. Okay, I figured it out. That horrible thing will come later. Anyway, so this is actually one of the most important places in China. Up here is the burial ground for essentially the founding father of modern China, Sun Zhongshan. He is the person that established the Republic of China, which is the Taiwan government at the time, but they were the very first modern government that China had, and communism came later, and they were the very first people that fought the Japanese. So yeah, this is where one day he was hunting up here, and he when he saw this, he said that if he ever died, because there's a hill back there, it's really really tall, and he's buried on the very top of the hill, and he said to one of his um, one of the people that was following him, and he said that if I die, please bury me here. I want to see China unified. If I die, bury me on this hilltop so I can oversee everything and I can see China grow. So he got his wish. China, of course, as you all know, won the war and eventually is growing. China is a much bigger country, much better country than what it was back then. So yeah, this is just some of the decoration outside of the temple. Uh, so here's entrance, and yeah, this is one of the first plaques. It has his name on it and everything. And it shows who is buried here and stuff. So more plaque. So that's halfway up. I took a picture halfway up because I was so tired. But this is just halfway up. And the cool thing is, if you look down, um, other than the immediate stairs, um, you actually can't see any other stairs. It just looks like one step down. There's actually I think it's either 50 or 100 steps per one of these little drops that you see. So still another picture. So this is the actual top of the temp or the burial ground. So that's really how tall it is. This is the very top, and yeah, that's me looking tired and trying to smile and pissed off, and my leg was hurting. Look, it's bending. But yeah, there's like something like 1,000 step or something all the way up. But yeah, this is just that's where the plaque was originally, and there's still a long way down. If you look at the very far corner, you'll see like a little white thing. That's actually where the road ends. That's where the entrance is, all the way back there. So this is just amazing. So some more of the picture. This is actually another stop that we made, and just this is the wall. This is the back wall of the Nanjing. Nanjing is actually a very fortified city, and a lot of the wall that was built is still here. At one point, they wanted to make this the capital of China. It didn't happen, but it was a very fortified city, and most of the wall is still standing. So that's just part of the wall. This is another gate thingy that was right next to it. And the picture, sorry for the picture quality, but yeah. This is another little lake that you can take tour on. There's boats on the side that'll take you. So this is another, well, this is one of the temples that we're not allowed in. So yeah. I don't know what it is. Really don't. Okay, so this is one of the local restaurants. I just thought it was pretty, so I took a picture of it. Oh, so this is where we stopped by dinner. But look at the decor of the restaurant, and we're like the only people there. So I just... Oh yeah, guess what this is? So that these are all of the decor of the restaurant that we were eating at. It's just really, really cool. Very not Chinese. And then on the way in, I saw these fish, so I thought, okay. I thought they were. I wasn't sure. Nobody would have believed me. These are blowfish. You know, the stuff that kills you when you eat it. But they actually eat these fish a lot, but they have their own way of eating it. Japanese, of course, make sushi from them. And a lot of these are farm grown, so their poison isn't nearly as potent as the wild ones. And these are all farm grown, so farm raised, whatever. So even if you get poisoned, you won't really die. But yeah, it's a muscle paralyzing poison where it paralyzes your body and stops your heart. But of course, these won't do that to you because again, they're farm raised. But yeah, they're just cool. There's some more picture of. So wait, this is actually the hotel. Ooh. Yeah, so this is the hotel we stayed at that night. Sorry, it's been a while and I don't remember all of the pictures. So this is the chandelier that was in the front entrance of the hotel. These are some of the picture in the room. And as you can see, this hotel is huge. But okay, so here's the weird thing. So two beds and that chair is in the left hand corner. You see this? This is actually the bathroom in the hotel room, but there's a glass window. Why is that? It actually sees all the way through into it, and then there's this shade that you can pull down to cover it. People are so weird. Who designed this stuff? But the room is actually, it's very roomy and it's huge, as you can see, and this is one of the new hotels. But this is actually just a standard room. This is almost like Venetian, not Venetian, but Bellagio in Vegas. Not as big, but same design, just a very, very long. and narrow room. So we went to this jewelry store that sells these jade and really expensive jade, and because jade is produced in Nanjing. But I saw this beetle, so I just thought, wow, this thing looks cool. I find that in China you find a lot of these custom cars, custom built cars that just looks absolutely gorgeous. You'll never find in the States because people just don't have that kind of time or that kind of money. But well, I wouldn't do this to a Beetle because it wouldn't be worth it. Well, to me it wouldn't, but yeah. Anyway, so this picture is a little bit different. This is off of Nanjing Bridge, one of the most prized possession of the Chinese government. The bridge is actually one of the first um, large scale bridge that the Chinese government has ever built by themselves. Um, After World War II, after all of the things happened, the Chinese government was pretty good with the Russians, and the Soviet government decided to build this bridge as a gift to the Chinese government. Well, I remember how in Shanghai there was that picture of the Soviet China friendship building. Similar thing. So they started the bridge, they drew up the plans for it, they never really built the bridge, and then um, they left. China and Soviet relations broke apart. The Russian decided that they were not going to build a bridge anymore. In fact, they took the blueprint, so the Chinese government can't build the bridge. Well, the problem with Nanjing is you have to ferry things across this bridge, and unless there's a bridge, it takes forever. So commerce is going to be absolutely horrible without something of this sort. So the Chinese government went through all kinds of trouble looking for people to try to build this bridge. They hired a bunch of Western engineers. Everybody that came here that looked at um, this place said, yeah, no, it's impossible. It's just gonna fall over one day. And this is designed and built in the 50s, so it's still standing. So I guess it worked. So basically, the problem with this bridge is all of the bottom of the bridge, the material, the soot and the sand and the rock on the bottom of the bridge are different. The composition of them were all different. So basically the pressure, in the sense, the pressure that builds under these pylons are different. So it's just incredibly difficult to build. So eventually what happened is the Chinese government said, okay, so they started asking specialists that are of Chinese descent to come back to their own country to build this bridge, and few people answered the call. And this is also called the Heroes Bridge because so many people had died building this bridge, and they are considered heroes to the Chinese people. I think 250 people died building this bridge, or more. At least that's the official figure. But it was eventually built. So, and this is one of the largest and the best achievement or accomplishments that China has done on its way to become a modern country. So very important bridge. These are just pictures from the top of the bridge. There's just farmlands on the side of the bridge. That's across the bridge, and this is what China has become. Apartments everywhere, and there's cities where it's just full of people, and then there's countries where people don't want to stay. Farmers in China is just, I don't know why they don't want to stay. They're incredibly rich. So as you can see, this is one of the statues they built after the bridge was completed. It's called the Heroes Bridge. So there's the bridge builder, there's soldiers, there's the engineers. I can't see what the last person is. So this is supposed to be the Chinese flag that resembles the Chinese flag. There's actually three of them. This is one of the larger pylons. I don't know, on the side of the bridge. This is still a shot from the bridge. So, um, under the bridge, there's a, if I can get it straight, a huge, not large, a huge statue of the Chairman Mao. And everybody knows who that is. If you ever know anything about Chinese history, you know who this is. So, a giant statue of Chairman Mao. So, yeah. Some pictures from the side of the bridge. Now this is where we had lunch that day. We had a tour under the bridge of this artist. He didn't let us take pictures and it wasn't very impressive, so whatever. So this is the restaurant. Again, amazing decor these restaurants have. This is the front entrance. So this is sort of the waiting area. This is just the waiting area of the restaurant. This is the cashier register. I mean, you're kidding, right? This looks like some giant, fancy hotel. But no, this is just a cashier register at the restaurant. So these are the seats on the side of them. Just beautiful decor. This is outside of the restaurant. So it's right under a hill, and the other side is the river, if I took any picture of it. Oh, this is one of the statues that the restaurant. This is, I guess, the statue that belongs to the restaurant. Oh, okay, go back. So the next picture, so this is outside of the restaurant, and then we got on our way leaving Nanjing to Wuxi. So, and then horrible things happened. So here we go. That's actually not a blur, that's a corner of the truck. The other, most of it is gone. So on the way there, it was a normally a half-hour car trip, and it turned into like a 3-hour long car trip where this huge accident happened, and yeah, I started taking pictures when I realized what had happened. So there was a 40 or 50 car pileup. So that's just look at, so like half the truck is gone, right? Half of the front of the truck is gone. That's another one. I feel bad for the driver. I hope he's okay, but look at where his seats are. There's just debris everywhere on the side of the road. Yeah, here's another truck. How bad is this accident? I mean, this is just disturbing how much damage these truck took. I mean, look, it almost feels like they're made out of paper, just the amount of damage they took from this pileup. I mean, but then to be honest, it's not the truck, it's the people that, because these trucks are all overweight, and basically what happened is they're pretty much, these trucking companies will always overload their truck, and they're always way overweight, sometimes 2-3 times the normal weight limit, and they're all speeding because they need to get from point A to point B. So apparently these things are quite common. Well, this guy just got a nip in the butt, so it's not too bad. Oh, maybe a little, but this is front of the pack now. So, and this guy also, yeah, but it's still okay compared to the larger trucks back there. I think he's the lucky one. This is actually the tow truck that apparently got smushed and is being towed by another tow truck of the same company. This is actually a gas station. Now there's a couple trucks on the gas station that's still smushed in. This is one of them. Oh, so this is the other. So now this is the other restaurant, I think, that we stopped at. Yeah. So this is actually one of the bridges, and at night we decided to take a walk in the park, and we were looking for this one park and we didn't find it, but we found this really cool bridge. So, as you can see, the color changes. This is actually a highway bridge. It doesn't go over a river. This is just for traffic. But look at how pretty it is. Oh, That's way too far. Yeah. So supposedly our park is somewhere near this area, but we never found it. So this is actually a night, but this isn't actually a park. They had Olympic. At least they were. I don't remember if they had Olympic and they were applying for Olympic. So this is their Olympic village, sort of. So this is where people come to exercise. It's a park, but yeah. More picture of the bridge. No. And this is going back to the hotel. We walked by this river, and I just thought it was cool. So now this place is interesting. So this is actually one of the governors, not a governor, but a official's house, older Chinese official back in the dynasty days. He is the commerce official, which means if you want to pass this area, you bribe the fuck out of him. And it's interesting. When you enter the place, it's very tiny. It looks like a very, how do you say, normal household, like some noblemen's, but not very wealthy noblemen. And then as you enter the house, there's just more and more and more stuff. It's just endless, huge, house this guy have. So this is the plaque to go into the house. This is what they. This is the carriage, I guess, the Chinese carriage, whatever. So this is what rich people ride around in. They don't have carriages; they have people carrying them. Um, there's two. The the single piece veil is for male and for men, and then the double piece veil, the one in the back, is for women. So men, you just open the veil, you walk out, and for women, if they want to ever look out, there's top piece of veil that they can kind of move aside to look out. But usually these are, I think, carried by 8 people or 4 people. Yeah, 2 in the front and 2 in the back. It's just I can't see. This is just horrible. I mean, I can't see this thing being comfortable. I mean, if this is riding on someone's shoulder and they're just gonna be bouncing around everywhere. I mean, I can't see this as comfortable at all. But these are just inside. This is sort of the front meeting area of the residence, and you can see, so basically over here you can get a feeling of what the hierarchies are. So the front 2 seats are either the head of the household and the wife, or the head of household and someone of very high importance. The side are the visitors, or at least the important visitors, and the backs are the other part of the household that needs to be in this meeting, or visitors that are not important or not so important. So there's a very good hierarchy of where you're supposed to sit, and it's just very complicated. Oh, go back to this picture. So this is one of the traditional Chinese art. It's made by ink and brush, and ink as in black ink that you grind on this piece of rock with water, and you draw with a brush, and it's extremely detailed. You can see the hills and the trees and the people and the buildings. This is lots and lots of work, and I guess this is a face of someone, but I did that when I was a little kid. Oh, I hate it. You spend hours and hours and hours practicing these things, and you barely get any better at it, because after an hour it feels like your arm is just falling off. Oh, here's a little clock, some more of the seats. This is some of the shots inside the building. These are actually pretty cool designs. There's rocks and trees behind. It looked like windows. They're just hollowed out. spots in the wall. So yeah, and again, this room is actually front and back of the room is exactly the same, except back of the room are for the female members of the family or of the visitors. And how you can tell, these blocks on the ground, the front of the house is actually bigger. These are actually smaller. So, and these are facing the wall. The other side is facing a garden. So, yeah, there is a hierarchy, and of course, female is in the top of the thing. And here is just some of the artwork, local artwork in the area. I just thought it was cool. They put it on display. So yeah, another sort of the money tree style plants. Um, they can't keep maintain this household, as you can see how big it is. So they started renting out some of it. So at night on the top level or at the second floor, there are tea houses and uh, restaurants. And this is actually the person that owned. Oh, no, is it? No, this is the founder of the Chinese Navy, the traditional Chinese Navy, during the Opium Wars. He is the one that's solely responsible for um, one of the only victory that Chinese had during the Opium Wars versus fighting the Western navies, of course, because he was actually the one that bought those ships from the Western countries. So they won one battle, and eventually everything was blamed on him, and he was stripped of his rank and shamed. But if it wasn't for him, things would have been a lot worse. So this is one of the cannons that was on the ships. Maybe it was on the ship cannon or was it land-based cannon. I can't remember, but this is one of the Western cannons that he personally brought into the country, and it survived all these years. Uh, Cast steel or cast bronze, an example of one of the ships that he brought into the country. These are just statues. This is actually the back garden of the house, and as you can see, yeah, it's not so, you know, there's giant buildings and skyscrapers all around. So, yeah. Anyway, more of these fish. And this is actually the stage. This is inside the house for a little play and stuff like that. There's a building. There's seats back there to watch. This is a performance stage. This is what they do on their spare time. We went to the pearl. This is outside of these a pearl manufacturing place or a pearl farming place for river pearls. They used the OEM for some of the very large jewelry companies, but now they kind of have their own brand, and I bought more stuff from them. M6, BMW M6, but look at the work that's done. I mean, it's not as crazy as the other ones that I've seen, but this is just absolutely gorgeous. This is outside of the garden, some of the statues. Again, restaurant. Amazing decor in restaurants. Um, yeah. So we're leaving there now, and this is one of our last stops, I think. Yeah, this is Suzhou. Um, just a tour of this park, and there isn't much here except some of these sightseeing places. This is one of the oldest trees in the area. It's like a couple thousand years old or something like that. Yeah. We had it. This is just the famous Suzhou River. You can get tours on the river, and I think we had some. This is along the side of the river, of course. This is the little street that yeah, Dairy Queens of all things. They're everywhere too. Dairy Queens is everywhere. But yeah, tea houses and yeah. So we took a boat ride down the river as you can see, and I kept taking pictures sideways, but this is what lives are like back then, and even now people live in these little shacks along the side of the river, and they don't want to take them apart and rebuild new ones because this is just traditional and it's cool. Okay, moving on. So some more pictures, and I'm gonna end this video soon, but yeah. So this is just also alongside of the river. This is sort of entrance to a temple, I think. But yeah, so just some of the what it looks like along this. This is actually a very good picture. These little lamps. Um, this is what these places look like. In even in older days, especially old days, they're lit by these red lamps. And commerce is. This is actually one of the most busiest river. Commerce is very important along this route, but the river since then been gotten really polluted, and then they cleaned up quite a lot. At least it doesn't smell anymore. But yeah, so whoa. So this is one of the buildings there, and remember in the very first video I showed a clip of a sort of a 3D semi 3D movie on top of the on the bottom of this bridge. This is where it is. This is the new building that they're trying to build, and it just looked like a pair of jeans. I don't know. It looked like a pair of jeans to me. Anyway, giant, yeah, Ferris wheel. I really wanted to go there, and but we couldn't find it, or we got lost at least. This is one of the major nightclubs on the river. It's actually an island, but yeah, and you take a ferry there, and it's just a huge nightclub downstairs. More pictures of what the riverfront looks like. Yeah. Um, see, I want this Mini Cooper. It looks awesome. Anyway, some more pictures of some of the. This is another one of these houses. These, yeah, this is another one of these houses, and this is usually the more relaxing seat. So this is actually, it doubles as a bed. This is actually the bed. If they take the middle part off, that's just the bed. How do old people's, like, people back then, I can't see me being comfortable in this thing. Oh, my two friends that I met on the trip. This is actually our family's warehouse in China. At least half of it is. Thought it was cool. It was huge inside too. I didn't expect it. I haven't seen this since we bought it. So, and our apartment in China. We own the top floor and the one above that. You can't really see it, but yeah, if I ever move back to China, that's where I want to live. So that one, the one with the windows and top floor is ours. So that's the end of the video and the end of my China trip videos. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if I ever take another trip, I'll make more videos. I'm thinking England next. I want to see my friends in UK. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and talk to you guys later.